Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at Mr. Fantastic's value only update. So out of all of the champions, Mr. Fantastic got the tiniest, smallest, most poquito type of change. It's still significantly better than Nova got last time around. And let me get to it. Now, obviously, I will not reread all of the flavor text because not that much has changed about him. I think the prestige is listed there wrong as well, because otherwise they would have decreased his prestige, which would be kind of stupid. But anyhow, let's just move on to the most important things that actually have changed. Now, what I could notice, to best of my ability, is that the attack rating per each debuff on the opponent has increased. I believe previously it used to be something in the margin of about 5%, and now it is 8%, if I'm not wrong. I might be. But yeah, so basically for every debuff on the opponent, Mr. Fantastic used to always hit harder. That was 5% increase. So if you had, let's say, 4 debuffs on opponent, you used to have basically a 20% fury. But at this point, 4 debuffs would equal 32% fury. And that is actually quite good, because if you actually use Mr. Fantastic yourself, and especially now, because even during the first fight, you can start with 3 debuffs, which is one of the most major changes, which I'm going to mention in a second. That means that if you start with 3 debuffs and you stack up your debuffs to 9, basically, because you can get 3 stacks of each of them, plus get 1 careful study passive, then that would equal to 12 debuffs. Previously, 12 debuffs was 60% attack increase, and now that would be more than, well, that would be close to 96% attack increase. So that is quite a significant change in my opinion, and well, basically it's going to mean that Mr. Fantastic hits harder than he did. Not much harder, but still damage output was one of the bigger things. On top of that, if you do run full Fantastic 4 team, Mr. Fantastic deals passive damage to opponent based on debuffs that he has, and that should also interact with this attack increase, and he's gonna have more potent damage over time ability if you run full Fantastic 4. And the biggest changes, most important changes, are probably coming here in these 2 lines. Now, previously, Mr. Fantastic had up to 5 persistent charges that he could carry over. He has access to 3 debuffs, but he started the quest with 2. That means that entering the first quest, you couldn't fully unlock Mr. Fantastic's potential. You had to win 1 fight where he wasn't at his best in order to utilize him properly. But right now, it means that you can fully bring in Mr. Fantastic from the very first fight in the quest and apply all 3 pre-fight abilities, which is very important. On top of that, you can now have up to maximum of 9, and whichever way you look at this basically makes him a lot better and a lot more friendly. So you can apply more debuffs, even if you don't bring Mr. Fantastic in any fight. Let's say if you're only looking for Petrified debuff, then you can just use him in 4 fights instead of 2 like you did before. So yeah, I do like that. I do like that change a lot, and I think that makes him even better of a support character, because you can just use him more. It's kind of like he has more bullets in the chamber. And also, even if you use him as a champion himself, then you can kind of mix match, and you don't need to worry about running short on your like pre-fight debuffs, basically. So yeah, I do like that. And additionally, also, the debuffs that he applied with his pre-fight used to last 12 seconds, and now they changed to 15. So they have increased duration as well, which is definitely helpful, because if you have used Mr. Fantastic in past, then you know in many fights it can be very tricky to keep on these debuffs, because you need to knock the opponent down, and if opponent doesn't want to throw special attack or whatever else, is something is not going right in the fight, then quite often it can be that you just lose these debuffs. But if there is a 15-second duration, it'll be much easier to keep them on. And yeah, one additional positive change. And I believe the last thing that has changed about him would be his special 3, and I believe special 3, the fury that he gets. Here we go. The duration of the fury has not changed. However, the attack increase has, and it has gotten like, yeah, here we go, increased from 20 to 30%. So it's much more potent Fury, and that Fury, if you do have plenty of debuffs, does give Mr. Fantastic quite significant damage increase. Now, I do have quite a lot of videos on my channel already regarding Mr. Fantastic, so it will be interesting to compare them side by side. I'll probably do a couple of fights or a run through Realm of Legends just before the update, and then do the same run just after the update and compare whatever damage he's capable of outputting. Just out of my personal interest. But overall, not too much is changing with Mr. Fantastic, and I actually didn't expect him to be a champion that does get an update, because I do think he's underrated as is. But obviously, all of the changes that we see here do make him slightly better. He's better support character, he has more damage, he has higher debuff duration. That means that it's easier to maintain and use Mr. Fantastic. So ultimately, I do like the change. I'm very happy it's not as lazy of a change as with Nova, because you can actually see that whoever did this buff kind of like was aware of what Mr. Fantastic does and what is the weakest side of him, which is the damage output and maintaining the debuffs. So yeah, I think those are very well thought out changes, and for value only buff, I like them. I like them. Let me know what you guys think. I'm not going to keep you any longer. As I said, this is like by far the smallest change here. So I have uploaded Black Panther video now, Mr. Fantastic going up right now, and Vulture left to go. Alright, let me know what you guys think about Mr. Fantastic changes, but I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information